Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Let me recall or remind you of one of favorite stories which Vivekananda used to narrate. A lioness, while she was carrying a baby, she happened to die and delivered the baby. Now the cub was alone, lying alone in the forest, and a herd of sheep happened to pass by. So the mother sheep, felt pity on the cub and she adopted the cub. So the cub started growing with the herd of the sheep. Now, cub behaves like the sheep only. When he grows up to become a lion, he tries to speak also like the sheep do and plays with them. But then the sheep finds him abnormal. All the other sheep, they find him abnormal except the mother who loves the child as her own. Yashoda also forgets that this is Krishna. So Yashoda looks after Krishna as her own son. So the sheep also looks after the cub as her own son. But the rest of the sheep, some sheep find him supernormal, some find him abnormal, some find him paranormal. But nobody identifies with him as a friend. He's a misfit. He tries his best to fit in. It is not possible. He tries to befriend everybody. But when he touches anybody, there's a scratch after all. He's big paws, Sunny Deol's hands. So, so then one day a lion happens to see him. He comes to hunt and within the sheep, he finds another lion running, scared of him, running about. He wonders, what is this happening? Well, he forgets about his prey and he chases this lion and confronts him. He doesn't eat him up. So this cub also is surprised that he's left his prey untouched. So he goes away again back to his mother and wonders, tells his mother that I was face to face with death, but he spared me. So mother partly knows, partly has forgotten that he is a lion after all. Partly forgotten also. So she also thanks God, thanks that lion who has pardoned her precious son, abnormal, paranormal, supernormal, call it whatever. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. So this lion who was in the forest, he never forgets this cub, this fully grown lion now. So he repeatedly comes not to hunt, but confront this lion, stand in front of him. So by and by, they develop a friendship. So that's the beginning. Friendship, beginning of, Diksha ho gayi na? It's called Diksha. Reminder, Simran, Smriti. These are words. Remembrance. In the movie also, I can recall Rajinder Kumar movies, olden times. He often, shown he forgets some accident happens and he forgets where he belongs to. Then a whole lot of things have to be done to remind him who you are. Because he starts living a false identity. He starts living with somebody else as false identity, has forgotten who he is. So, well, this lion now starts, this cub, fully grown lion. He starts, when he befriends the true lion, he himself is also a true lion. But by, he remembers that I am a lion. And now he's comfortable. Because now he's neither supernormal nor paranormal nor abnormal. He understands who am I. Similar story Buddhas, they have different ways of narrating the same thing. A prince, I mean, he happens to forget that he is a prince. I mean, in childhood only, in infancy only, when he was born, by some circumstances, he somebody picks him up and takes him away. And the king realizes the prince has been stolen. Well, this prince grows up amongst some beggars and he continues to beg all his life. But the king has sent emissaries all around to find, and because he had a stamp, the royal stamp on his arm. So one day, when he was a grown up man, begging like the other beggars, the minister, the chief minister or prime minister happened to spot this young man with a royal insignia on his arm. And he tells him, "You are a king, what are you doing here?" So you can imagine what the beggar would do. He thought that this man has gone mad. So he runs away. Not so easy to believe that you are a king, and you are the heir to the throne. Not so easy. Well, then they all have to plot some circumstances to by gradually induct him or diksha, call it whatever, to remind him, train him, educate him, and then finally he becomes comfortable in the throne and he rules thereafter. So that's what has happened to all of us. We have forgotten who we truly are, and it's a mistaken identity which is the cause of suffering. And this mistaken identity, you know, you can understand this word mistaken identity or misinterpret who you are. But the common terminology used is haume, or in English it's called ego. Ego is not about being a man or a woman. It's not about being a doctor or an engineer or a teacher, administrator. Not about being rich or whatever. Not about being beautiful or ugly or whatever. Ego is about you identifying yourselves with the body. That's all. Aham akar. You are nirankar, but you say ahamkar. Aham akar. Ahamkar means I am this form. So the moment you become a form, which you truly are not, then some lion, then some prime minister, will have to come and remind you, what are you doing? The lion will have to just confront this lion and tell you, what are you doing? You are Brahma and you have made yourselves to be Aham. Aham means identity, small identity, pygmy identity, stupid identity. And Brahma means Bruhat Aham. You are eternal reality. You are not a moment. How is a movie made? We get so much influenced by a movie. We weep, we cry, we laugh, we see a movie. What is it after all a movie? Snapshots connected together, isn't it? We used to have a small little booklet. We used to just turn pages and the man used to start walking, isn't it? Multiple photographs of the same person, a small, 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 small change, and you just rotate the book and you find that the man is walking. Similarly, what is after all a movie? Movies, snapshots. So, what is a movie? Let's say it's life is moment put together, and it becomes life, lifetime. So, moments, you are made up of moments, and then you are scared of dying. Every moment, marta marta jagmua, mar bina jane koi. Every moment, the moment is dying, isn't it? That's why Krishna has to come up with shlokas like Na asato vidyate bhavana bhavo vidyate sata. Na asato vidyate bhavo. These moments are dying. They don't exist because every moment is already gone. Whatever I'm talking is just dying and new talk is coming. So you are also, what your understanding is dying. So why? Because you are using your tool, which is called the intellect, your ears, your indriyas, your jnanindriyas, your karmendriyas. They are all flesh and bones. You see, I ask you a question. Have you ever seen a mandir, a small mandir under a tree, a rotten, dirty mandir, but mandir, under a tree with kitchen all around? Have you seen that mandir ever go to a big, huge, beautiful mandir for prayer? Mandir doesn't move about. Mandir is fine. Mandir doesn't go to another mandir. Okay, well, have you seen a mandir doing any prayers? Or a gurdwara doing any prayer? Or a church doing any prayer? Prayer happens within the mandir, within the gurdwara. Whereas what we are doing, we are praying. This is flesh and bodies. How can this pray? Prayer will happen inside this mandir. Light is lit inside this mandir. It cannot pray. It is flesh and bones. What can it pray? Whom will it pray? Mandir cannot pray. In the mandir, prayer will happen. So you can interpret it or misinterpret it as stop praying, stop meditating. How can you meditate? You are just flesh and bones. You think you are flesh and bones, but you are not. Flesh and bones is within which you are sitting. So let this mandir be and you pray inside it. And when you pray inside it, there will be, when the bell is ringing inside it, the mandir will also move a little bit because this is a mobile mandir. It is not a dead brick and pillars. It's a mobile mandir. So in scriptures, this human body is not called living, it's called mobile. Life is geo. Geo is inside. Geo means Atma. Atma is inside. And Atma prays. Mind cannot. Mind is body only. Mind is dependent only on the bodily, the indriyas impressions, and we call it sanskar, and we call it pap and punya. Whatever. Body has to die, and it is dying already. Every moment it changes. A million billion cells are dying, and new million billion are being formed. Every moment it's happening. So let this body be, and inside it, you also be. You have to wake up, not this body. This body will continue to be Jad and Jangam. Jangam means mobile. Plants are also equally alive, actually equally dead, but they are sthavar. They don't move. We are animals and insects and plants and reptiles and all. We are Jangam, moving. But equally, Jada, Chetan is inside it. Just like atom. Atom is Jad. But within atom, there is some electricity which is moving everything. Electrons are moving. Everything is happening inside the atom. And so are we all. The prayer will happen inside this body. But whenever something happens to this body, you start crying. दिल टूटा, दिल जीत गया, ये हो गया, अच्छा लग गया, बुरा लग गया, वहां ये हो गया। ये सब तो जड़ है। इसके अंदर जब प्रेयर होगी ना, तो चेतना जग जाएगी। सो इस बॉडी को यूटिलाइज करिए, इसके अंदर प्रेयर होने दीजिए। फिर हम में कहे ना कोई, फिर अपने आप को यू विल नॉट आइडेंटिफाई विद दिस बॉडी। You would have reached your home. The lion would have woken up. The prince would have come back to the kingdom, to the throne. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But this king will have to come in the form of some prime minister or some lion and remind you who you are. By and by, not by words, but by his mere presence. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.